What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Boslane. That's the one, the only, Scott Savage. Scott, what's going on, buddy?
I played a whole lot of Loop Hero yesterday.
Really? And?
I think that's almost the only game I remember before we played Siege, but yeah, it's starting to work on me. I like it.
It's starting to click. Sometimes these games take a little bit of time, right? And then all of a sudden it snaps. And he's like, yo,
It does the roguelite thing now. So now I've built some buildings. I can move forward now. Finally.
Nice. Dude, I'm hooked on these roguelite experiences lately. And I'm looking for, like, what's that next one? And the next one, not to say that this is where it's going, but the next Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is today's massive topic. We'll be getting into that one. But people can join us live each and every day, normally at 11 a.m. Today's been a little bit different. We had to go a little bit early today at 10 a.m. But you can join us live over on kick.com/inside-the-game, as well as youtube.com/inside-the-game-official. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later. InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, today's show is an interesting one because in the wake of The Last of Us on PC having numerous issues and needed countless patches, the trend continues with EA's upcoming title, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Should this be the norm for gamers? I think that's the biggest thing. Do we need to constantly experience these bugs all the time, or should we just wait? We will talk about that. Bobby Kotick also responds to the CMA blocking. No surprise there. And Nintendo returns to Gamescom after a 4-year hiatus. Huh.
Yeah, at least one in-person event.
Oh, man. Yeah, I miss them. Dude, I really do. Yeah, either way. Dude, let's get into it. EA's planning weeks, quote, weeks of Star Wars Jedi Survivor patches to fix bugs and performance issues. Tom Ivan over at VGC. Electronic Arts has said it's planning to address Star Wars Jedi Survivor bugs and performance issues with a series of post-release patches. Following a 6-week delay designed to achieve the level of polish our fans deserve, the Respawn developed sequel will release on April 28th. Tomorrow, dude. Tomorrow I'll be getting my hands on it. Ahead of its arrival on Friday, the game has largely reviewed well, generating scores from 87 on Xbox, 86 on PS5, and 81 on PC. A review aggregation site, Metacritic. So that's, nothing to sneeze at there, Scott. The game is done really well, right? However, many critics also highlighted performance issues that marred their experience, and some suggested that fans might be better waiting until they have been addressed before playing the game. Shortly after reviews dropped on Wednesday, EA said the game's first patch will arrive on launch day for all platforms, and in the weeks ahead, it's planning to release patches that fix bugs, improve performance, and introduce more accessibility features. I do like that end part. However, over on EA's Twitter, Cal's newest journey in a galaxy far, far away has begun, and we're excited for you to experience it. Our first patch will arrive on launch day across all platforms. In the weeks ahead, we'll deploy patches that will fix bugs, improve performance, and add more accessibility features. Scott,
okay.
At what point do we stop this, man?
Well, some of that is quite generic updates, day one patch, things like that we're quite used to, but you make a good point. Is this something that gamers should just accept at this point? But I feel like that's a slippery slope, and we already started accepting that issue, maybe a decade ago. These problems started coming up, but I'm wondering how bad could it be on PC? If 81 is still the review score, that's still quite good. And I think of The Last of Us. We had some issues, but we didn't have nearly the awful issues that people were talking about. So in that case, my score was still good.
Yep.
So I have hope, I suppose, is what I mean to say.
No, that's fair, right? Now, I don't think everybody experiences the same bugs. Sometimes it's a matter of you're over here where I was over there. And because we're in two different positions, you experienced a different bug than I did, right?
Oh, and I have all different hardware on my PC than you
Well,
do.
absolutely.
So there's some issue to be expected there.
Yeah.
I hear Greg Miller's voice in my ear right
now. yeah, absolutely. The thing is, it's patches and fixes for the weeks ahead. Like day one patch is always granted, right? In today's technology and day and age, there's always a guaranteed day one patch. And it's unfortunate because back in the day, you never got patches, but back in the day, you also got a broken game. So like there's different ways to kind of think about this. At the same time, right, when you get ahead into what's going on now, they're able to tap in and keep improving, keep adding this and adding that. And it's worked out in the case of Cyberpunk, man, like from where that started to where it is now, are two completely different games. Now, granted, here with a Metacritic score of like 86, 87, and 81, this is not a bad thing. Like these aren't game-breaking bugs, but they're continuous fixes for weeks ahead that has me going. It just had me questioning this morning. Why? If you already took a 6-week delay, shouldn't you have delayed it maybe another 6 weeks or another 3, 4 months, 5 months? Like how many? Go ahead.
This is where it gets into investor calls and upsetting the big marketing campaign that you've done so far. And it makes a lot of sense why you wouldn't want to delay again. But we always come to that fork road. Well, what do? Do we delay or release a buggy, broken mess? And this is Star Wars after all. Well, can they really stand to fumble?
Well, it's funny because I saw VGC 5 out of 5. I saw somebody else post a 10 out of 10. I've seen like 9.5s. Everything's so high that obviously these bugs that they're talking about aren't breaking anything at all. And I've heard the game praised as the best Star Wars game ever. So
yeah, previews have come out and they have all been glowingly positive from what I've seen.
Absolutely. But when the critics are suggesting that maybe fans should wait, that's a little concerning. Right? That's where I'm kind of going, Now, I want to kind of tie this into the whole Star Wars conversation, as Naughty Dog has released a new patch for the heavily criticized PC version of The Last of Us Part 1. Tom Ivan over again over at VGC. Version 1.0.4.0. What the heck is that? Is the 7th patch for the game since its late March release. Scott,
that's confusing. The number 7 is not a number in that.
which was met with complaints over numerous performance issues, bugs, and glitches. According to Naughty Dog, the latest update includes CPU and GPU optimization, texture fidelity, and resolution improvements on low and medium in-game settings, crash fixes. Scott, crash fixes, right? And more. Now, just tying back into the whole conversation. Yo, what's up, Northern Nerdcast? Is the game that buggy? Haven't seen anything bad, really. And that's kind of where we're at, too. Because unfortunately, we're not given codes to review the game. We cannot tell you one thing or another. And we probably will not be reviewing this game.
Yeah, we've sort of missed the boat on that one.
I'm afraid so, unfortunately. Unless our code arrives today or tomorrow, I don't expect us to be reviewing the game. I expect me to be fully playing the game, but I will not be reviewing it.
I will not sit out on this cultural popular item.
I'm a big Star Wars fan too, right? And the first one was fantastic. And here we are now with the sequel. And we're unfortunately missed on getting our review codes, which has just happened to be one of those things. And it is what it is. Every outlet has their right to kind of hold back codes and choose where they prefer to send them. And here we are. We just didn't get it. And that's just the way it goes sometimes for us. But when we get into The Last of Us now into the 7th patch, are we going to follow suit here with Star Wars and get 7 patches again? But again, to your point, Brad, it doesn't seem to be that bad either. Like critics are saying that they're scoring high. Like I haven't seen anything, I think, under an 8 or an 80 or whatever you want to kind of, whatever. Everybody's review score is a little bit different, right? We reviewed out of 10. Some people do it out of 5 stars. Some people go all the way up to 100. Just depends on the actual outlet. But I haven't seen anything under that 8 to 80 range. So,
it doesn't seem to require the same savior that No Man's Sky or Cyberpunk did. But that said, they're being transparent at least. There is a lot of bugs we're going to see upon release.
Well, the first one had bugs as well, right? Like there was bugs and issues in the first one. So are you really that surprised to see bugs come around? How often do we talk about Bethesda games having that Bethesda jank, right?
Yeah, there's a certain amount of bugs that just are acceptable.
Well, man, but do they need to be anymore, right?
No.
I get game development is hard, and I am by no means a game developer. So it's for me, it's easy for me to sit over here and go, we shouldn't have these bugs, right? And that's not what I'm saying. It's just, it's unfortunate that these are what we're experiencing, and then we're getting fixes for weeks ahead. Performance issues, little tweaks here or there, I get it. But when they're talking about The Last of Us actually still crashing on people's PC, that game just shouldn't have been released.
No. Crashing is where I draw the line. That's where it's not game breaking, your save's not gone. That's unacceptable by any means. But crashing the game, that's not at a state of release for me.
Yeah, so I do look forward to jumping in tomorrow to play some Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I will be there. Yeah, honestly, I honestly can't wait to play it. But yeah, the fixes are just a continuous thing that we are just now accepting on a game by game basis, on a day one launch basis as well. That's the other side. Every day the game launches, every brand new game, there's a day one patch, and that's that like quick. Okay, we need to fix this, and this, so that the players aren't complaining too much over on social media, right? So it is what it is.
The only offer of, or the only suggestion I could make would be to play it on console in this given news. If PC is your PC, that's where you play games. Oh, that's a different story. But
yeah,
for us, we have the option. I know it's Xbox I'm looking for.
Yeah, me as well. Actually, I'll be on Xbox just because I know you'll be there. I know Kyle's going to be there. I know Corey's going to be there, right? If I go with my PlayStation friends list, my brother might be playing over there. It's funny because he was asking, are we getting this? I said, I'm working on it. I'll be getting it regardless. So he's going to have it. Yeah,
you said we.
Yeah, I know. What's this we thing? So, but yeah, it's going to be, it's one of the monumental releases of the year. Right, I think that's what it comes down to.
It's going to be some good party chats, just like we had in Hogwarts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got to go back and finish that game still. But either way,
too.
Oh man, I'm telling you. Yeah, Kyle's wrapping it up, man. Kyle's getting there. Kyle's wrapping it up. He's coming in hot for it, so that's cool. But dude, let's get over to more Microsoft deals stuff.
The song that never
I tell you, man. Activision's Bobby Kotick responds to CMA blocking Microsoft deal. This is Michael Hardens over at PSU. Oh man, I cannot wait for this to end. I really can't. Bobby Kotick, CEO of Activision, has responded to the news that the CMA has blocked Microsoft's proposed acquisition of the publishing powerhouse due to its concerns that it would, quote, alter the future of the fast-growing cloud gaming market, end quote. The biggest thing for me coming off of this is it's not even the cloud gaming that Xbox is after with Activision. It's the mobile division that they're after. Like, that's what they're coming for, right? That's what they really want. And I think they've missed this over in the UK, of the understanding of what they're really after here in this case. But either way.
For myself, it seems strange. As a market leader wants to develop the market. That doesn't seem like something any government should or would want to get in the way of, but I'm not a politician.
Well, me either. Today, the Competition and Markets Authority, a regulatory agency in the UK, decided not to approve our merger with Microsoft. This isn't the news we wanted, but it is far from the final word on this deal. Alongside Microsoft, we can and will contest this decision, and we've already begun to work to appeal the UK Competition Appeals Tribunal. We're confident in our case because the facts are on our side. This deal is good for competition. The UK hopes to grow its leadership position in technology, and combined Microsoft Activision would accomplish exactly that. At a time when the fields of machine learning and artificial intelligence are thriving, we know the UK market would benefit from Microsoft's bench strength in both domains, as well as our ability to put those technologies to use immediately. By contrast, in the CMA's decision holds, it would stifle investment, competition, and job creation throughout the UK gaming industry. This merger is a complex process, and I know I'm not the only one frustrated by the hurdles and delays. We're accustomed to a company culture that moves quickly to accomplish big goals, so it's tough when we can't close things out at our usual energetic pace. That was from Bobby Kotick, who also claim that Sony was trying to sabotage the whole Microsoft deal as well. So, man, it just, Scott, it's not ending, man. It's not ending.
No, he's certainly personally annoyed, as we are all, I'm sure. But there is something to be said about this investment in the UK gaming industry. This decision, although it seems like it shouldn't affect that much, it seems to affect literally every part of entertainment, because of these companies want to continue working and developing and investing in the UK. These laws have to be a little bit more open to that.
Yeah, they're pretty restrictive of what they're allowing access to here, right? And if you're looking to advance the technology, I think this is the one way you do that. And by holding it back, this complicates things even more. And Brad, I agree with you on your statement there. Yeah, it's just one of those. I feel
it's a case of UK, what they call the Peaky Blinders.
Oh man, yo, you ever watch the Peaky Blinders?
I think I saw most of season 1, and it was so good.
Oh man,
I don't know why I fell off.
We fell off in season 2. They got into this whole like political religious stuff, and I'm like, that's where they lost me.
I remember
they really turned.
Guy's buddy was getting married. That was one of the standout.
Oh man, it was for me. It was so good. Yeah, no, I really did like Peaky Blinders. But either way, getting back to Bobby, this is no surprise, right? He's the head of Activision. He's got to say something. Very PR-esque approach to everything, right? I'm sure it was looked over by the lawyers to say, hey, yep, you can say this, do not say this, yep, you can say that, don't say this. So at the end of the day, nobody, I think, is pleased by the fact that this is just holding up the whole process. Get it over with. Either shut it down completely or just move on and accept it, and let's get going. But I don't know. You got to kind of wonder over at PlayStation that they're just rubbing their hands together, right? Like, yes, one more nail in the coffin for us, sort of thing. So I don't know. Either way, I know a lot of people too are talking about it. Really just doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah. I'll play the games regardless of whether they go. Whether Microsoft owns Activision or not, I'll still continue to play Call of Duty, right? So I don't know, but that's the whole idea of it too, as well, Scott, is that people are gonna play Call of Duty whether Xbox owns it, because Xbox still plans on putting it everywhere, and they're trying to make deals with every cloud streaming service in the world. And I wonder if that's kind of what kind of bit them in the butt here, because they are making 10-year deals already with all these companies, the technology companies, and it's cloud streaming platforms that we've never even heard of.
I have seen different conversation about if they remove this Game Pass, if they do a certain specific model for the UK only, can they get a deal that way by satisfying some of the CMA concerns? And it seems like that is possible. But then again, is that better for consumers? You cross border lines and suddenly your Game Pass is different? I don't think that's better for a consumer.
I don't think so. Dude, one thing we are looking forward to, though, is Nintendo as they return to Germany for Gamescom 2023 after a 4-year absence. This is Stephanie Jackson over VG247. Nintendo will be one of the exhibitors at Gamescom 2023. It has been announced, as everybody is completely bailed out of E3. This is just me, guys. They shut it down. Yeah,
E3 is no more.
No. The news was shared over on Twitter by the official Gamescom account. This will be the first time since 2019 Nintendo has attended the annual event in Germany. Dude, this has to sting for the company at E3, though, right? E3's got to go, you got to be kidding me, man. Like, we asked you guys, you turned us down, and now you're going to Gamescom? Like, they just got to be a little fired up right now, I think, in their side of things, which is unfortunate. Yeah. But it's nice to see Nintendo coming back out.
We are halfway across the world, but just the other direction.
Yes, yeah. Unfortunately, we will not be making Gamescom, because, man, oh, man.
No.
Yeah. During the show, numerous Nintendo Switch titles were shown, including a look down the towns of Pokemon Sword and Shield, a demo for Dragon Quest 11. Man, there's going to be, I wonder what else they have to show, right? Obviously, their big staple right now is going to be Tears of the Kingdom, which is like 2 weeks away. So once we get past that, I'm sure they still want to highlight that, though, right? Hey, don't forget, if you haven't picked it up yet, it's still here. $100 Canadian. Enjoy.
Well, these do function as just a big advertisement as well, so that is going to happen for sure. I see there's information, deep dive on Astral Chain, and that makes me wondering, is there going to be an Astral Chain 2 sequel?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have been calling for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you ever play the first one?
No, I think I remember what you remember. We had gone to one of those expos, and I forget the name of the.
It was EGLX in Toronto. That's where we were.
That was the one. That was EGLX, and there was a booth there. We were able to preview some things. I got to play Luigi's Mansion and Astral Chain,
which was cool.
I didn't get the review code, unfortunately, for Astral Chain though.
That one kind of hurt as well.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was super cool. It was one I wanted to check out too, but I just never got back to it.
It's like one of the most anime looking games you'd ever play.
I know. Yeah, it definitely is.
We're making progress on you.
You're breaking me down, Scott. This is what's going on.
I'm gonna get you into a horror game one day. We're gonna look back and laugh.
Dude, why don't we get into some of the games we got out today? Because there's a lot of them happening today.
We have Bramble, the Mountain King, on PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, XS, Switch, and PC. We actually did a little preview on that. I believe that's up on our YouTube and on InsideTheGame.ca. We also have Kizuna AI, or Kizuna Owl, Touch the Beat on PlayStation 4, PSVR, Switch, and PC. Lego Bricktales is on iOS and Android. Live Alive, Live Alive, I'm not certain how to say that. Yeah. PlayStation 4, 5, PC. If anybody could correct me, I would appreciate that.
I think it's Live Alive.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think of 5 Alive, though, and that's a drink.
It is. It's not very
Regardless. That's debatable. I gave it an 8 out of 10. No. There's Omega Strikers, also available today on the Nintendo Switch, PC, iOS, and Android systems. We have done a preview of that as well. I'm uncertain if that is up yet, but
yes, it is.
If you're curious,
it's been up for 20 minutes now. Go check that out.
Excellent. And lastly, we have The Last Case of Benedict Fox, and that's on the Xbox One, XS, and PC, and I'm curious.
Very. Yeah, definitely please go check out. We have a review of Eye of the Temple. Steve and I went into Quest 2 to go actually hands-on with this like Indiana Jones kind of puzzle game. It was super cool, so check that out.
I've not yet watched that one, but I want to. I'm curious myself.
Check that out, as well as Omega Strikers. You yourself and Corey, you went on and played that one. So our preview of that as well is over on our YouTube channel, as well as InsideTheGame.ca. So you can check those out. Please support that, and that goes a long way to help us in the YouTube algorithms, as always. Scott, give me your high-level thoughts on Omega Strikers.
Well, it's kind of, if I were to describe it lazily, I would say it's like Battle Pong, okay? It's a team-based Pong, but you have abilities. You're shooting at each other, you can knock each other off the ring, that kind of thing. So it gets quite competitive. There's a huge skill ceiling, I see. There's a lot of potential for this one.
I'm very curious. It's on the Switch right now. It's free to play as well, right? So I think that's the other hook that I want to jump into. I'm going to go download that right after the show here. If it's available yet.
3-player team seems amazing fun.
Right? The only problem is Nintendo's online service. So we'll see how that kind of fares out with this. I think that might hold it back a little bit, because when you're trying to party chat and stuff. Now, granted, I'm not going to get into it. That's the thing. I don't think there is, right? So, yeah. I'm kind of curious to see how that kind of stifles a little bit when it comes to the game. But also give us a little kind of your thoughts on Bramble, as you and Steve previewed that one as well.
Yeah, Bramble was, again, lazily explained. It kind of was what plays in my head. It looks the way Hansel and Gretel is described when you read that as a kid.
Okay.
It's kind of what looked, this kind of fantastical, whimsical, nice fairy things, but they're quite evil. It's all very dark and very brutal. We only did a short preview, but by the end of it, I kind of had to stand up and take a walk.
Wow, eh? Yeah. So hopefully we'll get our codes on that one, and we can get a full review on that. That looks pretty interesting for sure. It had my eye, and one I don't know if I really want to play or sit back and kind of hear thoughts on the game instead. But
it's cute but brutal.
Yeah, and dude, I jumped back into Dishonored 1. I'm back in.
Nice.
I was playing that last night for a little bit before we jumped into more Siege, like always. Still back on baseball as well. I'm doing some of the moment challenges. And our youngest there just loves watching baseball. It's funny to watch. So, I don't know, it's pretty cool.
Fun for the family.
Yeah, right. He gets all excited, and I like baseball, so I'm thinking we're getting him hooked here. MLB The Show 23 is really, really good. Having a good time over there, and my Diamond Dynasty is on the roll. And Kyle and I will hook up every once in a while and continue to play back and forth, which is always a ton of fun.
Yeah, I hear you're pretty good at it.
Rumors have it. It's they still got some bugs on that too on the Xbox version, so I'm wondering if they're going to fix that. I got to check it out on PlayStation to see if it's the same thing or not. But either way, Scott, that's going to wrap up today's show. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. We're live on Kick and YouTube at Inside the Game and Inside the Game Official, but you can't join us live. Hit us up later. And until tomorrow, I'm Drew. That's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.